you ever heard the apocalyptic version of the Christmas story? I mean, you probably know the one with the shepherds and the angel choir and the wise men in the manger, but trust me, the apocalyptic one makes the stable look like a 5-star hotel. Hi, my name's Corey, and I'm the pastor here at RedeemerOnline.church, and it's our mission to help you understand and practice the Christian faith, especially if you don't go to church right now. We're working through the book of Revelation together, trying to understand what this apocalyptic book actually meant to its original audience so that we can sort out what it might mean, if anything, for you. And believe it or not, right in the middle of the book is an apocalyptic version of the Christmas story. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its head. Its tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky and flung them down to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule the nations with an iron scepter, and her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God where she might be taken care of for 1260 days. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come the salvation and power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury because he knows that his time is short." When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle, so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for a time, times and a half of a time, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. Listen, I know what you're thinking. That's not the Christmas story. Yeah, but it's from a different point of view. First of all, the woman. Contrary to popular belief, the woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of stars on her head isn't Mary, the mother of Jesus, per se. She's a symbol for God's people throughout the ages, the Israelites, but not necessarily the ethnic Israelites. In John's mind, it's the people of God who were faithful to God's plan to be used as his light in a dark world. The child to be born, though, is a reference to Jesus. The quote about ruling the nations with an iron scepter is a quote from Psalm 2, which is a messianic prediction psalm that early Christian writers reinterpreted to be about Jesus. So the cosmic mother, symbolic of God's faithful people, is about to give birth to the Savior of the world. And in order to put a stop to this, a great red dragon appears to devour the child. And when it fails to do that, it attempts to go pursue the woman and make war with her offspring. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bible, this imagery of a battle between a serpent and a woman, it comes straight out of the first chapters of the book of Genesis. But the woman is rescued for a little while, finding relief in the desert. Again, Old Testament imagery where God rescues the Israelites from Egypt so that they can relearn what it means to be human after being slaves for 400 years. As a result of not getting to devour the child, there's this wild battle in heaven, and the dragon gets hurled down to the earth and storms off to make war with the offspring of the woman. That is, all those who are, faithful to God. which John spells out as those who hold to God's commands and their testimony about Jesus. Okay, that's really strange. What was the point for John's readers? Simple. You're not a passive viewer of this great cosmic drama that's unfolding. You're a participant. You have a role to play. I think there's a sense in which the original readers already felt this reality. They already felt like they were at war with the dragon. They were dealing with all kinds of suffering and poverty and persecution, these trials and tribulations, like there was an unseen force waging war against them. And for many of them, it feels like the dragon is winning. So what did this passage do for them? Well, it gives them a brief picture of how the war will turn out in the end and who wins. It also acknowledges the cosmic reality of what they're experiencing right now. And most of all, I think this cosmic Christmas story shows them how to battle the dragon. It gives them their marching orders. Twice John mentions that victory is found in holding to their testimony about Jesus. It's not in gaining political power. It's not in exerting military might. It's not about taking back ground in the culture wars. It's not about fighting the world or those people over there. You're not in a cosmic battle with people. You're battling a spiritual beast, a beast that wants to make war with you, that wants to devour you. So how do you resist or respond? John's vision would say it's your testimony about Jesus, about the one who loved you so much that he thought you were worth dying for. And listen, I know that sounds crazy. It sounds soft and weak. It even sounds a little bit backwards, but that's the cosmic story of Christmas. To rule the nations with an iron scepter, God sent a helpless child who would eventually give his own life. At the center of the cosmic battle against evil is exactly what you'd hope for. It's love. And the apocalyptic Christmas message is that you're not a passive recipient of that love. You're called to be a participant. Merry Christmas.